Hey guys, so I'm gonna be showing you how do I shade my OC's faces. I am on IBIS paint for this. Now I've already like contoured the face a bit, but let's go in. Alright, so first I want to make another layer that's over the skin. Like under the outline and sketch and stuff. No, I mean not the sketch, but like under the outline, but not like over like this color layer. First, what I'm gonna want to do is, this is just my art style, but gonna want to go around 80% tone. Gonna want to put these, okay, tiny triangle up here, and I mean tiny, like that size. Then you're gonna want to put like dot here and a tiny dot there, okay? Now this is going to be my setup. Now let's go in with the rest. Now let's go into like more like contouring. You don't want to go in like a brownish shade. This is more gonna be about bronzing up that OC's thingy. So now that we've got this on my art, usually I like to like draw my chin a bit sometimes. Like, but like make it like not very like visible, like yeah, like that. Add a bit like there, and under the eyes make like a distinct line. Now I would like to actually make these eyes like pitch white, so let's fix that real quick. Now add a slight gray and just kind of hover above those eyes. Okay. So now the little white spot of the eye actually looks good. Now it looks more dimensional. Now you're going to want to lower that down a bit, like somewhere around 40%, and put it around the pupil instead. Alright, this is just going to add a bit more, I don't know. Okay, now that we're dealing with this, you could like keep it at this, but like I like to go with like a more like reddish shade and just put one tiny dot in between all these. Now it's not just time to blend yet. Well, the face. So now what's next is we are going to be, surprisingly, let's like add like, even if your eyes are like black, you're just gonna want to add that tiny like glimpse. You see like how like overlay on it on that. Yeah. Oh wait, I just realized you have to go to the color layer. I meant this layer. See how like, okay, wait, that's too much. Like turn it down to like 10% and just fill the eye with that. See how it has like that brownish glimpse? If you want more soft art, like put this just like overlay of like brown on some of the outlines. It'll create a more softer look. And I recommend, like, don't put too much emphasis on the cheeks, but like put like a emphasis on the forehead. Really, I like putting emphasis there. Alright, now it's time to blend it in. But first, before we do that, again, I'm gonna want to go in with this shade. Are you wondering, what are you gonna do with this now? At like a 10% opacity, we're just gonna want to circle around that area. Yeah, circle. Now, blend. First, how I like to do it is blur. See how like nice that looks, bro? Now you can smudge it around the face to see where you want to put it. I prefer put like around this area, around this. so it will look a tad bit more natural. I like to really, really blur it in. And if you see that if your OC's hair is like a bit, let's say, pink already, and it looks way too matching with the hair, easy, just add like a quick red spark. Try not to blend it in too much. All right, now, perfect. Now, that is how you can render. So now that we're done with the face, time to learn how to render hair. Yeah. So let's start off. Here's what the main mistake is. All right, let's just quickly draw a face. I don't know, crappy hair or something. I don't know, something simple like, all right, like, what I see, which is horrible, is, okay, let's just skip that part. When we're rendering hair, all right, let's just, for example, let's make the hair purple. Not really trying here. Oh my god, it looks like Yuri from DDLC. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, what's the common mistake you guys keep making? Even I made that mistake in my art. These, like, I hate when, like, you make the hair too blendy. Like this. Or you follow something. If you look at my art, the lines are curved, upside down, something like that. So, but what a lot of people I see doing is this. No! Stop! What are we doing here? And then you're trying to add like depth like this. This is not the way. Let me show you how to actually do it. You're gonna want to see, if you're doing bangs like those, you're gonna want to see what the direction is. Okay? You're gonna want to curve it if it's curved. You're gonna want to swoop if it's swooped. Okay? Even then, I'm making another mistake here. Why are our lines so prominent? Alright, let's think about it like this. Let's use something slightly darker than our color. Something like this for those. But guys, again, this is not a correction. It's all about your art style. No offense. But let's stop overlapping lines like that and start doing something like this. Okay, now, what you're gonna want to do is, I feel like blurring makes it look weird. I mean, just look. Ew. No, keep them prominent, please, unless if that's part of your art style. So now what we're gonna do now, here, you see this? Now we go in with a darker color. Never do pitch black for shadows. And now you're gonna want to decide where's the darkness coming from and where's the lightness coming from. Or if you're just shadowing the streaks. So for things like these that are just off to the side, not really like a strand, you're gonna want to point it towards where the darkness is coming from. The darkness is like, the sun is over here and the moon's over here. Like the darkness, we're just using moon as a symbol of darkness. Then yeah, of course, that's going to be exactly where you're going to want to put your darkness, and where you're going to put your highlights is mostly where the sun's going to be. Something like, it should look a little bit like something like, maybe like this. Or like, something like this. So yeah, like, Oh, wait, no, that shit doesn't really look that good. Okay. You see how, like, the darker shades are on the left? Because, I mean, you could switch these around or whatever. I'm just making an example. Like, darkness to the left, lightness to the right. See, we have more dark colors here. Like, maybe even make, like, a bit... Oh, wait, that looks gray. And even add more depth than just that. Something a bit more like this. So you see how, like, the darkness and the depthness is coming from here. The lightness is coming from here where all the highlights and stuff is. Now, of course, you could always do something like this. It doesn't really matter. Of course, what I want y'all to stop doing is these ginormous lines of this. No. We're gonna want more depth and more detail than that. It's gonna be the few biggest lines you're gonna see. Then little pixels, little decide that but like also decide like the motion of the hair. Like the bottom, I'm making it where it's like swooping like this, but then for here for the strands, I'm making it point towards like to the right. See that? Now exactly this is how your hair usually is gonna look. Now it doesn't look exactly, it shouldn't have to look exactly like this. I just made a crappy example. Now that's the mistakes y'all are doing. Now that I've showed y'all how to properly render hair, it's time for me to show y'all. Something. Alright. Let's look over here to these legs. Alright. Let's say you're drawing a skirt, shorts, whatever. It's overlapping. If it's baggy, then why the legs look like this? Let's learn how to render them. So first, let's go pick on the skin tone. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go tip, 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 tip. 10% darker. Like 10% like closer to black. You see that didn't make a whole lot of difference. Oh wait, what am I on about? Oh wait, no, it's 20% darker. Wait. No, I messed up. Oh wait, what? Oh, I forgot. Hold on. Why does it look like that? Okay. Guys, what I meant is like somewhere around like, why does it look like, oh, I know what I was doing wrong. Okay. Keep it exactly, where was that? Now what I actually meant to do, sorry, raise this up a bit. Now you see that? It looks way too orange. So you can like bring it down to like maybe like 70%. You see how it looks that orange? That's not going to be a problem soon. Since I'm deciding in my art that the darkness is mostly to the right, I'm going to mostly add that to the right. Now, I'm not a pro artist or anything. Don't get me wrong. But I'm also not, I want to say like, I don't know. Okay. So what we're going to do here is blur. Blurring is going to be your mate. Now see how it doesn't look as orange? Watch what happens. The magic. Seems more seamlessly blended in. See that? Perfect. That's how we want it to look. We want it to look nice and blurred there. Now, if you're like me and you still see the strong orange line, take in white, dab a little bit here, a little bit here. And what is opposite to orange on the color wheel? Blue. Just take, it's like color corrector. put it into the blue. Put it into the orange. Blue into the orange. See, it still looks crappy, but you know why? We lost this line right here. Wait, no, that black line looks crappy. Okay, now what we're gonna want to do is, you see how it's like all blended? Remember how I said earlier that we don't need too prominent of lines? Exactly. So what we're gonna want to do is create some like harder lines using a more gray color. Just pretty much overlays on it. Yeah, like this. It's gonna be like our outline. The leg, kind of. Now 19% I'm using. Just gotta outline that a bit, like blend it out seamlessly, but like blocky at the same time. Now you don't have to do this all the way until you reach the end of the leg. Now the legs look a bit better. Though, as you can see, it's a little bit too orange, so you know what that means again. Guys, always remember, if it's too orange, add in blue. Okay, I may or may not have used too much blue. I used too much blue. Little line. You know what? Forget about it. If it's too orange, it's too orange. Oh, wait, what? Okay, but if it's like still like super orange, take a blue filter, go all the way down here, just kind of filter over that orange, okay? See, that looks a lot bit more natural now that we added the blue and the white, okay? That looks a bit better. See? The legs look a little bit more defined. Now what else we're gonna do is, that's it for today's video. Yeah.